The Sharks tomorrow night and then the Boston Bruins on Sunday. That takes care of business for right now. We'll see you tonight at 10 o'clock. The OCN High School Football Report, scores and highlights from around the county. And joining us in the studio for our interview segment, a trio of San Clemente Tritons. Head coach Mark McElroy, senior quarterback Chris Hayward, and senior safety Luke Jerome. San Clemente, a tough team out of that tough South Coast League. We'll put the spotlight on the Tritons and have plenty of highlights tonight at 10. We'll see you then. Highlights to bring your way over the next 30 minutes. During our interview segment, we'll put the spotlight on the Tritons from San Clemente. The head coach and two players from San Clemente joining us in the studio in just a couple of minutes. First, a reminder to those of you just getting home from a ball game, we want the final score of the game that you attended, and there's the number to dial, 1-800-225-5626. 1-800-CALL-OCN. We'll pass along all the final scores on this Thursday night at the tail end of the program. But we do want to pass along one score of major importance right now. The Sunset League final from Long Beach, Veterans Stadium. Esperanza ranked third in our top 10, upsetting the second-ranked team in our top 10. Esperanza makes it 2 straight over Los Alamitos. We'll have highlights of that game a little bit later on in the program. First stop, however, Fred Kelly Stadium in the city of Orange. A Century League opener. The Canyon Comanches 3-2, facing the El Medina Vanguards 1-4. Elmo just had one league win last year, but it came over Canyon. Let's see what happened tonight. Over to Fred Kelly Stadium, where, look, some of the best moves of the night were turned in during Canyon's homecoming celebration. A Polynesian theme this year. And congratulations to this young lady, Canyon's homecoming queen, Kim Bulmer. Kim would be pretty happy with the game's outcome as well. Second quarter, Elmo in white, down 7-0. Quarterback Matt Garcia picked off by Chad Scott. Comanche's defense, which had allowed 97 points in the last 2 weeks, had a shutout. Canyon on the move. Cameron Tarkesian, 18 yards to the Elmo 5. Third and goal for Canyon. Quarterback Craig Scott loses the ball. He does get it back. Comanche settle for a field goal. 10-0 at half. Still 10-0. Look at this. First play of the fourth quarter. Elmo kicker John Chavez from 51 yards, and it hits the crossbar. It was that kind of night for El Medina. Vanguards get the ball back. Whoops. Canyon linebacker Andy Colonna says, thank you very much. 35 yards for the touchdown. Canyon up 17-zip at that point. And the final, Canyon 23, El Medina, nothing. Next up, the Garden Grove League. Los Amigos 2-0 in league play, including a big win last week over Pacifica, taking on the Aztecs of La Quinta. They were 0-1 in league play. Let's head out to the Garden Grove League, and look at this. La Quinta hoping to burst the bubble of Los Amigos, but it's the Aztecs in a sticky situation. Daniel Alamazan can't handle the snap. Sean Tagatuli recovers in the end zone, 6-0. Lobos now up 13-0. More miscues for La Quinta. This time Eki Talua recovers the rock, and that would lead to this 2-yard touchdown by Naji Key. It's 20-zip Los Amigos. Doesn't help anymore later on. Alamazan hooks up with Bo Walters, and yet another La Quinta turnover. Next play, Javier Acebes hooks up with Thong Win, 37 yards for the touchdown. It's 30-0 Los Amigos at the break. And here's how La Quinta starts the second half. The snap out of the end zone for a safety. Rough night for Coach Jeff Better and the La Quinta Aztecs as Los Amigos, we don't have a final yet, but the Lobos well on their way to their third Garden Grove League victory. Little note I have here, La Quinta with 5 turnovers in the first half alone. The Aztecs with only 25 total yards on offense in the first 2 quarters. Los Amigos rolls on. The Lobos now 3-0 in Garden Grove League play. More scores, more highlights coming up a little bit later on in the program, but right after this commercial break, our interview segment. We'll put the spotlight on the San Clemente Tritons right after this. Welcome back to the OCN Thursday Night High School Football Report. More scores, more highlights coming on a little bit later on in the program. And remember, we can't pass along all the final scores unless you get them to us. So if you're just getting home from a ball game, dial us up and report the final. 1-800-225-5626. We'll get you all the final scores at the end of the program. Right now, we want to put the spotlight on the San Clemente Tritons during our interview segment. San Clemente coming off a terrific season, 8-3 overall last year, 4-1 in that very tough South Coast League, good enough for first place in the South Coast League. A pleasure to welcome to our show fifth-year head coach Mark McElroy. To my right and to my left, a couple standout players for San Clemente, senior safety Luke Jerome, and next to him, senior quarterback Chris Hayward. Guys, we appreciate you all coming in. Thank you very much. Coach, let me begin with you. So far, your thoughts on the season. It's been a pretty difficult schedule, and I believe if my numbers are right, you're 3-2.
We're 3-2 like the rest of the South Coast League teams, with the exception of Mater Dei. It's been played two tough teams in Irvine, El Toro, and just didn't quite get it done against them.
Yeah, guys, let me begin with you over here, Luke, and your thoughts on the first few weeks so far, because now the pre-league stuff's out of the way, and now it's really time to get focused if you want a second consecutive South Coast League title.
Yeah, we had a pretty tough preseason. We started off with a tough loss against El Toro and picked it up against Orange, proving that we could play defense and put points on the board on offense as well. And, well, we start them off with
Trabuco
Hills, I'm sorry. And they got a pretty good offense, too, number 4 leading rusher in the county, and we just got to play good defense and keep putting points on the board.
Yeah, and Chris, Trabuco's going to be ready for you not only because they're a league rival, but, of course, we were talking about this earlier. They're coming off a big win last week, knocking off El Toro. So this is a team playing good football right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we lost El Toro, and they beat them, so they definitely can play football. They're going to be ready for this game, and we just got to be pumped up and ready to play.
Chris, tell us about the El Toro game, your season opener. You lose at 33-20. They have a great offense, especially the running game with Sango and Oates.
Yeah, it was a tough first loss, but I mean, it was the first game of the season. It was my first start on varsity as well as Luke's, so no, I think it was a good game to get our team so we could see how we were going to be this year. A lot of the guys were starting their first game, so it was really a good chance for us to see how our team was going to look, and I think it was good, even though we lost the game, it was good to get us ready for the season.
Yeah, Coach, we covered that one, and there was a lot of points put up, and like Chris said, it's a chance for you to kind of see where you guys stand that first week of the season, but a pretty tough season opener for you.
It was very tough, and they were ready to go. They hadn't beaten us in a few years, and they really wanted to get after us, and they did. They played very well on offense, and we learned a lot about ourselves that night on both sides of the ball, and we feel like we're a pretty good offensive team. We're still maturing defensively.
Luke, you play defense. Is this has got to be among the best offenses you guys have faced so far this year, that El Toro running game?
Yeah, the running game was really tough. I mean, they were returning starters from last year, and we knew coming into the game that it was going to be a challenge for the defense. Right. And we were all new starters. We only returning 2 starters from last year, so we had a lot to prove. And well, you got to give credit where credit's due. Yeah,
they're a good team. Chris, the next week, it looks like you and the offense really clicked, beating Orange 42-0. Did you feel a little more relaxed in that second week?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we were confident in what we could do after the first game. We knew we could move the ball on offense. We had a lot of yards in the first game. We just didn't put the points on the board. And it was really good the second week there, put some points against Orange and have a good win. And defense did a great job with the shutout.
Yeah, you mentioned that was your first start as a varsity quarterback against El Toro. Were you more relaxed here in week number 2? I mean, obviously the offense really clicked on this night.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first game, I was a little bit nervous at the beginning, but second game, after that first game, it really helped me relax a little bit and knew what I could do.
And Luke, it sounded like the defense didn't play too bad either, pitching a shutout that night.
Yeah, like I said, we were coming out. We had a lot to prove, and we had a good week of practice. Scout team did a great job for us, and we just went out there and got the job done.
Yeah, and Coach, after this game, you come back and take care of Huntington Beach, and then you take care of Woodbridge, a very impressive victory there. So really, going into last week's game against a tough Irvine team, San Clemente had won 3 in a row, and the team's playing good football.
Playing real good football, and I think we're still playing real good football. Irvine is a very good football team. I think at that time was the best 2-2 team in the county.
Yeah, no doubt.
Without a doubt, and certainly that game could have gone either way. It was, I guess, going to end up with whoever had the ball last was going to end that one or win that game, and they just played great offense.
Mark, I've seen Irvine personally a couple of times this year, and they're among the hardest hitting teams I've seen. Terry Hannigan, a great coach, but Irvine, one of the more physical teams that we've seen this season. Is that how the game played out?
Oh, I would definitely agree with that. The guys were flying around on defense and forced some fumbles that we typically don't turn the ball over, and they fly around and hit very hard, yes.
Now, Chris, even though you guys come up short on the scoreboard, we've got Irvine in our top 10, and you guys rack up 35 points against a darn good Irvine defense.
Yeah, we felt good that we the offense moved the ball. We scored a lot of points. It was tough to lose the game, but I think it was a good game for us before league starts.
Yeah, and we've talked, Luke, we've seen Irvine a couple times this year, and Savona, their standout running back. But I want to say the kid's name is Williams, 23. Al Williams, also a great running back. I mean, just like El Toro with Sango and Oates, Irvine throws a 1-2 punch at you.
Yeah, they have a real big offensive line, and they were opening up some holes. We were trying to stuff them, as best as we could. I mean, they're good running backs. We tried our best.
Yeah. Coach, I want to ask you about last year's victory over Mater Dei. I know that was kind of a milestone for the program. The kids were so fired up for that game. And do you play that up a little bit coming into this season? Hey, we proved we can beat anyone in the county, so why not? Let's go for a second straight league title.
Well, shoot, we'd love to win the South Coast League. That'd be great, but that was a great win.
What did that mean? What did that win mean to the program? Here it is last year.
It meant it was huge because Mater Dei has such a good program. They're well coached. They have great athletes year in and year out. And for us to beat such an outstanding football team was huge for our program. A little beach school in San Clemente usually can't take on those big powerhouses like Mater Dei, who at the time their seniors hadn't lost in 41 straight games.
Right.
So it was a big deal to win that game for us.
23-17 was the final score as Coach McElroy and his guys beat Mater Dei. What did that, to the kids, what did that mean, beating a school like Mater Dei and tying for first place in the South Coast League?
Well, that was unreal. I mean, like Coach Mack said, Mater Dei hadn't been beaten in 41 games, and it was just unreal. I mean, everybody was so excited after the game. And it just gave us confidence and it let us know that we can beat anybody that we played.
Right, and Chris, of course, now with the league getting started, you get Trabuco, next week Mission Viejo, Capo Valley lies down the road, Mater Dei lies down the road. I mean, I guess there's no more times to be nervous. It's time to strap it on, right?
Definitely. I mean, this is a stretch run right here. We have 5 games and do the best we can and hopefully make the playoffs.
How is this team, Chris, different from last year's team? You're the new guy at quarterback, but you don't have number 5 to throw to. Trevor Inslee, he's not there anymore. Talk a little bit about the offense for San Clemente. You guys primarily pass the ball, you run, you mix it up?
Well, this year I think we're pretty balanced. We've always been pretty balanced. We got Ryan Davis, a running back, coming back this year. I think the one difference from last year is we have less returning guys than last year did. I know on defense we do, definitely.
Yeah.
But, we don't have Trevor coming back, but we have some good receivers. Greg Lang's a receiver, and, he's doing a great job. So I think we're pretty much the same as last year as far as our balance, passing and running the ball.
Right. Luke, how about on the defensive side? Chris mentioned a little bit of inexperience over there on that side of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, as the year keeps going on, we keep learning and we're getting better each game. And there's a lot of learning going on, a lot of new players. And I don't see us, we're just going to keep climbing up the hill and just keep getting after it.
Coach, before we let you guys go, let me ask you about what lies ahead. Is this a team that you feel pretty confident can go ahead and make the playoffs out of what is certainly one of the toughest leagues in Orange County?
I think most people would agree that Mater Dei is the class of the league and should win the league. And Capo Valley is right there with them in terms of talent, being able to take a shot at the league title. And then there's the rest of us that are hoping for that playoff spot and are going to battle it out every week. And we hope we have a shot at going to the playoffs. I think we do. We have a great group of young men that play well together, that don't give up, and we have a lot of fun together. So I think we'll be able to compete for a shot at the playoffs this year.
You'll compete for it, rest assured. Guys, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it, and the best of luck against Trabuco and the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Mark McElroy of San Clemente High School, along with his quarterback Chris Hayward and his senior safety Luke Jerome, getting set to battle Trabuco Hills, the Mustangs. That'll be tomorrow night in high school football action. We're going to pause for a commercial break. More scores and highlights coming your way right after this.
In our back studio. Jeffrey?
Jim, you're giving me a hard time about the time of this tape, so guys, if we can go right to it, let's do it. San Clemente and Capo Valley. All week, San Clemente talking about beating Capo, but of course Capo has responded by saying, since BC, that's the last time the Tritons beat the Cougars. The Cougars take the opening kickoff, go right down the field. That's Maliafo McKenzie from 3 feet, 6-0 Capo. In the second quarter, San Clemente down 13-6. Ryan Davis goes off the left tackle from 5 yards out. We're tied at 13 at the half, but things remain cloudy throughout the second half.
You were reaching.
The Cougars go to work on their first drive of the second half. Austin Mockerman keeps it, then dives in from 11 yards out, 20-13, Capo. And if ever it looked like one team would pull away, it was right about now. It looked like Capo might when Malafo breaks tackles and takes off. 73 yards down the right stripe with 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter, 27-13 Cougars.
No, John Robbie!
Come on, John, you came to watch Malafo. You could at least get a little excited about it.
It's the coach.
The Tritons undaunted. This is Fitch's catch of the day. Chris Hayward to Oscar Montesinos, 37 yards. Very next play, Hayward rolls out, looking for Montesinos again, finds him. Yeah, that's a catch, Jimmy. I watched it 3 times. That's a catch. 27-20. Now 34-27, Capo. San Clemente with a 3rd and 9 at the 36. Hayward has all the time he wants and needs, finds Richard Buffum, and Buffum, if you got him, cutting over the middle. Buffum takes the pig into the pen. 34-33.
I still like it.
Remember the sign, BC. No ties for Coach McElroy. Going for 2. And Davis takes it in, spins away. 35-34 Tritons. It's incredible with 5:11 left. But Mockerman is the man, and he has time to move the Cougars. And they move right down the field. Charlie Landergan, his second TD. The 2-point conversion fails, 40-35 with 42 seconds left. It's enough time for Hayward, though. He works down the field out of the shotgun. Looking for Matt Hall over the middle after he escapes one guy, and he finds him. Hall comes down with a 25-yard reception. 8 seconds left now at the Capo 16. Hayward has all the time he wants. Now he's got to scramble, looking, but Scott Hawkins blindsides him as time runs out. The Cougars rush the field. They win 40-35.
Rush on the quarterback is a very good team. They throw a lot, pass a lot. They're a good team. Our coaches knew we had to get a good, hard pass rush. We're on the side. I knew I wasn't stopping for anything. I was stopping for nothing.
It was unbelievable. I'm just so thankful for my kids. They just did a great job tonight. They're a great group of guys.
I think that says it all. I don't know if the last 2.5 minutes did justice to this game, Jim. It was absolutely the game of the year. I know you covered the Esperanza Los Al game a couple weeks ago, and I know we had a great game on TV, Aliso Niguel versus El Toro, but no question, this was so exciting beginning to end.
And one of the best sound bites of the year. Dave Brown hardly said anything at all. Fish, those highlights were so long they should have an intermission. We're looking at the numbers before we let you go. Here's your numbers from Week 8. We're a little late, everybody, so good night. We'll see you Thursday night as we start Week 9 in Orange County High School football. See you then.